Hello everyone and welcome to a new Infinity Kingdom video. This is Kincaid from 49. In this video guys, I want to talk about Loki and the new element which is Chaos, how it works and how it will affect the gameplay. So Loki is the first Chaos element Immortal. He's a legendary Immortal and the Chaos works in a very interesting way. So I want to explain how exactly it is going to work, as it's been mentioned in the patch notes that we have received earlier. So Chaos element will have an option which called element shift, which means that once you use Loki in a different march, for example, if I added Loki here instead of Merlin, that means that Loki will shift element into water, and instead of having the bonuses of only 4 units of the same element, I will still get the same bonus that I get when I deploy 5 units of the same element. Which means that the element of the majority of the deployed units that will be in one march will have Loki will be affected by this element. For example, if I'm using let's say an earth dragon, let's say I'm using a wind dragon and I'm using 3 water immortals, and then I'm using Loki in here, that means that Loki will shift his element into water because the majority of the immortals that is available here will be water, and instead of the 3 units bonus that I have here, I will have the bonus of the 4 units, which means that I will get the immortal physical attack plus 20% and the immortal magical attack plus 20%. And if I'm using a lineup like this, which means that I'm using 2 water immortals, 1 lightning and 1 wind, that means that Loki will be affected by the majority of the units that is being deployed in this march, which means that it will be affected by the water element, and his element will shift into water, and that means that will be able to get the bonus for deploying 3 units of the same element, the immortal physical defense plus 20% and the immortal magical defense plus 20%. So this is how the element shift works. And for the element counter itself, if Loki is being used in an earth march and he shifts element to earth, that means that his damage will increase against water marches, and if he's being used in a water march, that means that his damage will increase against fire marches. So the chaos element itself does not counter or get countered by any other element. However, whenever it shifts element to any other of the 5 basic or the shadow or the holy, that means it will get the same trait of this element. So this is for the element counter. For his items itself, that doesn't mean that if you're using Loki in a water march, that doesn't mean that he will have to use or he will get bonuses from the water element items. That doesn't apply at this situation, because the only elements that he can get will be from the chaos equipments itself, and it is already available. I already got a crown for him that I can use on him. This will be the only items that Loki will be able to get the 15% bonus attributes whenever he uses the chaos equipments itself. As for his skills, so he applies confusion to all the enemies with a chance of 25%, and if the target has an effect of bleed or tear, the chance of being confused will be increased by 25%. Now, we recently has an immortal that applies confuse as well, which is Tumaris. She causes confuse for one enemy units for 6 seconds. However, they confuse kind of CC is not new to the game. We already had a skill that applies confuse. It is a blue skill. This one here. Every 6 seconds after the battle starts has up to 25% chance of causing confuse to one random enemy units for 4%. And what does confuse mean? Confuse means that once the CC is applied to an enemy unit, he will be confused and he will start attacking his ally team. I want to show you guys, maybe I can find a match in Throne of the Supreme. Alright, so I found this match where I can show you guys how exactly confuse works. If you take a look at Kublai Khan here, at some point of the fight, he will turn around and he will start damaging Cleodora. This is because he was confused. Once Tamaris uses confuse on him, he will start to damage Theo in the back line here. There it is. You can see that he turned around and he started damaging his own teammates. So this is how confuse works. And the chance to apply this through Loki skill, as I mentioned, is 25%. If the target was bleed or had tear, the chance increases. I recall some skills that already applies tear or bleed. For example, chaotic blade, I think. There's a chance of physical damage randomly. Inflicts bleed for 6 seconds. So chaotic blade applies bleed. This is I think the only skill that comes to my mind right now, but I know there are more skills that applies bleed. This one here applies tear. Yeah, it's Garrett. So using Garrett on a physical immortal or chaotic blade will be a huge bonus to Loki. Using both actually will be a huge bonus to Loki, since they apply to 3 targets at the same time, and having them, which means that the chance of applying Loki's confuse will increase by 25%, which means that's a value of 100% to his skill. And not sure exactly which march will he shine in. He's a mage, so he will add lots of magical damage. His energy regain is kinda insane. This is a very high energy regain for a mage. That means that he will keep casting his skills, he will keep applying the CC, and the critical hit, maybe we will be able to replace him in a fire march with Empress Wu, since he got this critical hit, and since he will get all the bonuses, since he can shift his element to fire. Yeah, I think he will be a huge bonus to a huge addition to the fire march if you can use him in a fire march instead of an immortal like Empress Wu, since he got the magical damage, the magical attack, and the critical hit. Compared to an immortal like Miko, I think his damage is much higher. Is it higher? This is almost 240. Yeah, he is much higher. Also, when it comes to critical hit, this is all thanks to the rarity itself, because he is a legendary immortal. So this is why he got the better stats compared to Miko. I think Loki will be a very, very strong immortal. We just need time to figure out how to use him, which march will he shine on. I think we can only hope for the best from him. This will be all for this video, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day.